Yes lads, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are going to be looking at the base icon Patrick Vieira. We're going to be looking at how he pairs in game. Is he worth it? We're going to look at his stats for me. How has he been getting on since I packed him? Is he worth an investment? Is he worth putting in that midfield role as a dominant player? We're going to start off by looking at his stats for me. I was lucky enough to pack him out of a base icon pack, which was absolutely incredible when I was to pack him. And since then, I've managed to play a full weekend league with him. He's played 35 games at the club, 5 games of those were played in division rivals, and he's played a full 30-game weekend league. In that weekend league, I got a record of 19-11, which is my best record of the year. Does that suggest early on that he has an impact? Well, we'll find out. In those 35 games, he has managed from a defensive midfield role to get 3 goals and 3 assists, which I think for a centre defensive midfielder, and we'll look at how I play him in game in a minute, is a very good start to the card. 3-star with a defensive midfielder, medium as well. Pretty good. It's pretty much what you want. Like, you're not obviously. The higher the weak foot, the higher the skills, the better they're going to be, obviously. But for a card like this, I don't think it makes much of a difference, because I'm not convinced, for me personally, that I'm going to be going around trying to rainbow flick every opponent with a card like this. If you look at his stats, I have applied a shadow to him. He plays in a +10, because he's on full chemistry, he gets +10 on the pace, and he gets, on average, about a +10 on defending as well, which pretty much brings him up to 91 pace and 96 defending, which actually makes him look a very good card. Especially, remember, playing him in that defensive midfield role. See, his pace is good. He's very good at tracking back. He is a player that, for me, tends to push forward a little bit more. He plays alongside N'Golo Kante, which we'll look at in the custom tactics shortly. He does push on a bit, but he is very good at recovering that position and dropping back into defence where he is required. And on that note, when he is defending, his composure is exceptional, especially in seeing out games. So many times in the weekend league that I played with him, it was very close. I was 2-1 up, it was 1-1. We just needed to see it through to full time or see it into extra time, and he was there. Assured at the back, he wouldn't put a foot wrong, which is what's one thing that frustrates me about some players. A couple of things some of the players do was questionable, to say the least. Finishing stats, to be fair to him, aren't actually that bad. As we said, he scored 3 goals in 35, and from CDM is pretty good. Those 3 goals were very well taken as well. Decent shot power. He does have decent attacking positioning, but again, I play him CDM, so that is not the most important of stats. However, if you do play him centre mid, it may be more important. Passing is pretty good, to be fair. Crossing, free kicks and curve are all things that he does slack on. Those 3 stats aren't very good. However, crossing and free kicks, you're more than likely going to have a better free kick taker than Patrick Vieira in your team. Let's be honest. If you're going to be considering buying a player like him, you're going to have a free kick taker with more than 60 free kick accuracy. He's not really a player that was well known in his days. For scoring free kicks left, right and centre. Crossing, again, he's not really, it would be an essential player, centre mid, CDM, wherever you choose to play him. Not really a player that's going to be looking to whipping crosses, and so on the whole, that shouldn't have too much of an impact for you. Short passing and long passing, though, is what matters. He's very good at that, even in game. I do believe that 86 and 85 isn't fairly accurate of how he is represented in game. Short passing, I don't think he doesn't really put a foot wrong with his passing play. Always manages to pick out his man. Normally to Kante or the 2 centre-backs, or into Sonny and Cam. Always picks out the pass. One of the most reliable players in my team on the passing front. Long pass as well. There are occasions where you have to switch it. Switch the play. Get it across the pitch. And to the wingers to burst forward on a quick break. And it does work. It does work with him. A lot of people will use players with these long passing and it won't work, but with Vieira it just clicks every single time. Dribbling, as we mentioned before, agility and balance is a little bit weak. If you are looking to sort of make a sudden sharp turn and get away, it probably isn't going to happen. That is the honest truth. It is one of the few stats that actually lets this card down from being almost perfect. He doesn't turn particularly well. He doesn't go to the ground too badly, but on the whole, it's still very good. And his dribbling on the whole again isn't great. His actual dribbling, running with the ball, not great. He's a player that you definitely need to get it out, get it to him, and get it gone as quickly as you can. Sort of a playmaker as opposed to a charge through the midfield player. He's not that type of player. Composure, as we mentioned before, is absolutely incredible. At 92 on the base card, he will be assured at the back. He'll be assured in attack. Wherever you play him, he will have confidence to do it. Whatever you want to do, he will have confidence to do it, even if it's not quite successful. For example, on the crosses, but passing, making interceptions and stuff, all very, very good. Speaking of interceptions, on the defending, you will see that he has 99 interceptions. As I said, it's perfect. Seeing out a game, your opponent's passing it around the edge of the box, it is ideal for him. His defensive awareness is also very good. All of those defending stats are incredible. 99 standing tackle, 99 sliding tackle. There are a few times that I have gone in for a standing tackle. I don't really think I've tried many slide tackles with him yet. But standing tackle, put a foot in, 9 times out of 10 he's going to win the ball, and it'll lead you to be able to get away as quickly as you can. Physical, also very good strength, maybe a little bit aggressive. I do find he's a bit aggressive. Not the best jumper as well. However, he is 6'4", so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. And a fairly decent stamina. He will be there for you for the whole 90 minutes or 120 minutes. Or even penalties if you go all that way in your FUT Champions Weekend League. In game then, he plays in the defensive formation, and he slots into a DM role in a 4-2-3-1 with Mane, Aubameyang, Son in front of him. He plays alongside N'Golo Kante, and these two are the dream duo for me. Vieira being the more up and down sort of box-to-box player. Kante sitting back, holding off a little bit more and being there to swoop up the ball as it's headed out from an attack. In terms of his player instructions, I have him on cutting passing lanes. He is on stay back while attacking. That doesn't stop him from getting forward. That is one thing that does frustrate me sometimes, because although he does have that sort of 90 pace with the shadow, he can get caught out every now and then, which is frustrating because it leaves you... The gap in the midfield is open with only Kante in there. And normal interceptions, don't want to go too aggressive, but don't want to hold off a bit too much either. So normal is definitely the perfect thing for him. And obviously getting him to cover the centre is also ideal. We're going to go and look at his pros and cons now and get an overall opinion on the card. We have mentioned most of these before while we were looking at the stats on the card. He does have incredible composure. Like I said, he is always there to cover the play in defensive midfield. Solid reactions. He can react. If something comes at him and he has to control it late or whatever he has to do, he will do it. His reactions are very, very good. Defensive play, I've said it before, I will say it again. He's such a good player. I'd argue you could play him at centre-back if you really needed to. I wouldn't choose to start him there. But if you did need cover at centre-back because you made a silly tackle and got a red card, he would slot in there nicely. Interceptions, cutting out those passes, always very, very useful in a player. Allows you to go from defence to attack as quickly as possible. He's a player to do that for you, especially when you factor in the passing on the player. Very, very good player to turn the game around for you, to go from defence to attack in as quick an effort as possible. Advised chemistry style is shadow, just so you can give that pace an extra bit of a boost. So when he does push forward, he can track back very easily. In terms of the few things I would say are negative about him, his agility and balance do let him down. He doesn't turn, and he's known to go to ground quite easily. He's not best on the ball, which is, as I mentioned, you've got to release it with him as quickly as you can, which makes it make you feel like he's not really worth it. The dribbling stats aren't the best. Let's be perfectly clear about that. They are the weakest area of the game, 100%. Don't run with him on the ball. Release, get him to intercept the ball, get him to move away, and then get him to release, and do it as quickly as you can. Value for money, now he's valued at about 1.5 million coins at the time of recording. That is on Xbox, and he's just under 2 million coins on PlayStation. I would say that is probably slightly too high, especially when you consider you can get the likes of Kante's and your special cards of Pogba, like your Road to the Finals and Informs, for about a lot cheaper than that. I do think he's still better than those cards. I just don't think he's better in terms of value for money. Now, overall, it does give me my seal of approval, especially having got him out of an icon pack myself. He's definitely a card that if you do get, has to go straight into your team. And I do think it would be a good investment. I do think he would impress you with his in-game play. Speaking of in-game play, we are going to head into a game of division rivals and see how he performs. This is what we're up against then. We're up against an icon. We're up against Gomez, Wan-Bissaka, Vieira, Dembele, Rashford in form, Renato Sanchez, Gelson Martins as well. Good turn. Lay off. Great challenge. And good block by Gomez. Good run. Although he is on his own with not the greatest pace. Yeah, across his block. Wasn't a bad attempt though. Good run. And a great challenge there. Incredible. Which leads to the shot to be blocked. He hasn't come back. We're 1-0 down. 1-0. Go behind to a Marcus Rashford strike. And make a run. Good ball. Receives it back in the middle. Again, look, I'm doing a lot through Vieira. Just because of his influence on the play. And he gets it in well. Nobody on the end of it though. Sonny has scored. Ball into the box from Mane, and Sonny fires home. No influence there though, unfortunately, on the goal really from Vieira. But we're 1-1. Good challenge. Tavernier, no it's not Tavernier, has to track back Alba, and Dembele, and Rashford gets past us and scores. Just covers in centre back there. Vieira charges through. He's going for the goal then with him, to be fair. But again, it shows his sort of lacking dribbling. Using his pace to quickly recover his position. Now it's half time. We are 2-1 down. It's not been a bad half, to be fair, from me. We dominated with the ball. Vieira being at the central focal, like at the focal point of all that play in midfield. He has got our highest rating so far. He's currently sitting at a 7.4. He's won 2 out of 2 tackles. The only player to make a tackle in my team, in fact, which is concerning how he hasn't completed either of the two crosses he's attempted. Dribble 17 out of 18 completed. Actually, not that bad. But he hasn't really got anywhere with the dribbles, which you'd have seen in the gameplay. He's not really getting anywhere with them. 13 out of 18 passes completed. Not actually the best return rate. Couple of long balls attempted that haven't worked out. Not the best half from him. Maybe it can change in the second half. Vieira's on the corner. Now let's try this. It's looping. It's not far away. Vieira, long punt forward. Aubameyang can keep it in. Whips it in. Werner's header 2-2. That's a class from Vieira. To send it forward to Aubameyang, who crosses it in for no other than Timo Werner to head home. Good ball out wide. Mendy. A little bit of a charge forward. It still goes on. Slips the ball down the line again. Good ball. Good cross. Well, not really a good cross. Bit of a letdown again from Alba. Good interception there from Vieira. Can't clear it though. But good interception nonetheless. Cut out. Vieira holding up the play. Sonny. Werner. Back to Sonny. Back to Werner. 3-2. Absolutely lovely. Vieira held it up. Dragged the players out. And we were able to pass through him to go 3-2 up in the 78th. Interception. Getting Vieira playing the play. Spreading it wide. And can Alba break for 4. It's Aubameyang. Hits it near post and smashes it home. Again, play from Vieira, out from the back. Quick release to Aubameyang, who sprints up the line and smacks it home at the near post. It's 4-2. Picks up the ball again, loses it. Dribbling is not the best. I do believe that still. It was showing in game that dribbling is not his best stats. He does get back quickly though. Can't win the ball back there from the standing. And that will be that. We get the 4-2 win. Very nice performance from Patrick Vieira. We're going to look at his stats in a moment or so. See how he fared to the rest of the team. Vieira won 3 out of 3 tackles. Still not many people to make tackles in the game on the whole. Varane only won 1 out of 2. Tavernier only won 1 out of 2. And a couple of forwards won 1 out of 1. Vieira completing the most tackle attempted and succeeding in every one of them. He wasn't able to complete over his 2 crosses. No crosses in the second half were made. In terms of dribbles, he made a pretty good return rate in the second half. 25 out of 27 completed. The 2 he did lose though, you'll see on the highlights, they weren't the best. He did lose the ball quite sloppily and quite easily, which is just a concern for me. In terms of passes completed, 21 out of 27. It's not a bad rate. You'd normally expect better from him though. Like, it's not his best passing performance. We did try a bit more long balls, and for one of our goals, the long ball up the line to Aubameyang was absolutely critical. Thank you for watching that video. If you did enjoy, please hit the like and subscribe. And I hope to see you again soon on the Disconnected channel. Thank you.